Would you go out with you?
I asked Dr. Joe Dispenza, the renowned expert on the mind-body connection, one simple question. Why am I still single? His response hit me like a freight train. Would you go out with you? I laughed nervously and then I froze. Because deep down I knew the answer. I wouldn't. For 5 years I stopped dating. Not because I was giving up, but because I needed to face the truth. I got tired of answering the same question from family and friends. Why am I still single to this date? If only they knew what I had learned about myself in the past 5 years, that even I was convinced I would not date myself. But today I ask myself again, would I date me now? Are you tired of being single but feeling like you're the common denominator in failed relationships? I'm right there with you. Do you wonder if it's just you or if there's something deeper keeping love at bay? I used to think it was everyone else's fault. But the truth is, nearly half of all singles feel disconnected despite being more connected than ever before. A Pew Research study found that 65% of single adults believe expectations for how men should behave have made dating more challenging. More rules, more pressure, more uncertainty, and guess what? The struggle is real for men too. 63% of men under 30 are single, and many of them don't even know the right way to approach dating anymore. But before you think it's just men, let's talk about women. 55% of women say dating has gotten harder in the last decade compared to 39% of men. It's a whole new world out there, and everyone is feeling the shift. Society tells us we need to be in a relationship to feel complete. Like love is some checklist you have to complete before you make it in life. But let's be real. There's more to it than just pressure. Swiping, texting, awkward conversations, lonely nights. I thought I had the answers, but I didn't. Because the truth wasn't out there. It was in me. I look back at every relationship, every date, every heartbreak, and then it hit me. The common denominator was me. I realized it wasn't bad luck. It wasn't the apps. It was the version of me that kept showing up. I had been attracting what I feared, not what I wanted. And Dr. Joe Dispenza calls this our energetic signature. The unconscious thoughts, the emotions, and the behaviors that shape our reality.
If thoughts are the electrical charge in the quantum field, and feelings are the magnetic charge in the quantum field, and how you think and how you feel broadcasts an electromagnetic signature that influences every single atom in your life. The thought sends a signal out, and the feeling is the magnetic field that draws the event back to you.
Right.
So if you're not in a place where you're in love with life, or in love with yourself, or practicing diminishing your emotional reactions to certain people or conditions in your life, and you're living in anger or hostility or judgment or fear, and you want a loving relationship, there is no magnetic field for you to draw that to you.
Your energy is a radio signal. What station are you broadcasting on? You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. When you feel whole, you stop chasing and you start attracting. And for years, I was broadcasting the same painful frequency: disappointment, self-doubt, the fear of not being enough. And guess what? The universe kept delivering the same lesson wrapped in different faces, different names, different heartbreaks.
People always ask me, like, how do I create, the person of my dreams that I want in my life? And I always say, take out a piece of paper, write down everything you want in that person, and then become it.
Awareness is power. Studies show that people who focus on personal growth are 3 times more likely to attract a fulfilling relationship than those who actively seek love. 80% of people who find love didn't seek love. They changed themselves first. The moment I recognized my own patterns was the moment I realized I had the choice to break them. Imagine carrying a backpack full of bricks labeled fear, self-doubt, and past trauma. Now imagine dropping it. That's what self-love feels like. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that our unconscious patterns shape the relationships we attract. Until we become conscious of these patterns, we are doomed to repeat them.
You're in lack. So now you're trying, you're grasping, you're controlling, you're forcing, you're trying to predict, you're overthinking, overanalyzing, and that's how people live their relationships. So then if you are going to prepare your brain and body for a new relationship, then you would have to become love completely every day. And that signal then that you're sending out into the field can carry the thought of your health, your wealth, your relationship, or whatever. But here's the cool part. When the heart is activated like that, and you feel so whole, so in love with life, so satisfied in the moment, so exuberant, that it's impossible to want. Now you're no longer in lack. Now you're so whole that you will magnetize wholeness in your life. The person who's the person that fits the mold energetically, that would be the same as you and yet complement you, so that the two can become one, right?
So if you keep attracting the same disappointments, maybe it's time to take a hard look at the patterns we're carrying. Because the truth is, most of us don't even realize we're repeating the same story over and over again until we finally decide to change it. What if the love you've been searching for starts from within? What if you rewrote the script? Therapy made me realize my cynicism and negative beliefs about love were just fear in disguise. My unrealistic standards were actually walls to protect me from getting hurt. My unresolved trauma and trust issues weren't my fault, but they were my responsibility to heal. My low self-worth made me afraid to show my true self. and my attraction to unavailable partners? It was simply a reflection of my own emotional unavailability. With therapy, meditation, and self awareness, I learned to rewrite my patterns. I practiced gratitude. I visualized the love I wanted. I let go of the old me, the one that wasn't ready for love. This isn't just theory, it's science. It's real and it works. So let me ask you, if you were on the outside looking in, would you be excited to date someone like you? Would you be drawn to the energy you put out into the world? Love isn't about fixing the outside world. It's about aligning with who you truly are. Maybe you're wondering the same thing. After all this work, am I finally ready for love? But here's the real question. Before you can even think about dating, can you fully, truly accept yourself first? Every step I take on a walk, every weight I lift, and every indoor cycle I did, it's not about fixing myself. It's about honoring myself.
I love you, mother. I love you too. Love you, mother.
Losing my mom left a void in my life, and for a while, I let that grief take over my body. But now, movement is my way of telling myself, I am here, and I am choosing to heal. Healing isn't about looking perfect, it's about feeling whole. The love you've been searching for, it was never out there. It was inside you all along. Because in the end, love wasn't something to find. It was something to come home to. And maybe, just maybe, it was waiting for you all along. So let me ask you again, would you date yourself? Let me take you back to where this journey began. The real question isn't why you are single. It's, would you go out with you?